Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets life on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /Wake Up Call DT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. It is an honor and a privilege to be picture in picture once again with Matthew Hawn. He's been on the show a bunch of times. At this point, I feel like he's getting some residency here now. So we got Matthew Hawn here with us, offensive lineman for the Christian Brothers Academy Brothers football team. And he knows what it's like to be a sectional champion. He knows what it's like to be a state champion. And now he knows what it's like to be committed to a school, as he has said yes to the Syracuse Orange football program. With that being said, Matthew, how are we doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me in the show again. It's always a pleasure to be on.
Absolutely, Matthew. And I mean, for you, what is this all? I mean, you and I have talked about recruiting. We've spoken about the connections that you've had with different schools and the fact that there was 40 plus schools last year that came into Christian Brothers Academy. There's been a lot of teams looking at you, a lot of offers that have come through. What has the entire recruiting experience, now that you've gone through it even more so since the last time we spoke, what's it been like for you?
Yeah, so it's totally, been a whirlwind for sure. Like all the schools reaching out, all the visits. It definitely, got a little less fun as time went on, a little bit more, like a job, but it was really enjoyable throughout the whole process to, visit all these great establishments, all these great schools, get these offers, make connections with a lot of coaches, meet players. So I'm really, thankful for the whole opportunity and the whole process.
When did you give yourself an opportunity to take some visits and go to some places, kind of fill everybody in with like where you went and what you did in its entirety?
Yeah, so last year I went to some game visits to West Virginia, Buffalo, BC, and Syracuse.
Yeah.
And then this spring I went on a junior day to West Virginia, to Syracuse, to Army, to Duke. So that's pretty much the main ones that I've gone to. So yeah.
And when you went on those visits and you had the opportunity to go to different places around the country, what were your takeaways from the time that you had? Because this recruiting experience for you, I mean, you hope that it only happens once, right? You hope you find a home and it's great and you continue there throughout your collegiate time. So as you went through this experience, what were some of the biggest takeaways that you had from this opportunity that not everybody gets to go and visit these schools and visit these programs and tour these campuses?
Yeah, so it was really great to make connections with all the coaches for sure, and also to visit each school and kind of picture myself, would I be happy here? Would this be a good fit for me? Would I play all my years of eligibility here? Would I be happy under the staff? So, all that was kind of what I was, all what went into the visits and the process and all that sorts of things. And it was really quite quite the adventure for sure. I'm glad I had all those opportunities.
You said, Matthew, that it started off fun and then it became more like a job. When did that transition, and how did you handle the transition of this is so exciting and fun to, okay, this feels more like a business now? When did that turning point happen and how did you handle it?
Yeah, so I mean, it's always, even until the end, it was still pretty fun, but a lot of it sometimes is, when you go to so many places, so many colleges, talk to so many coaches, it starts to get more real, more serious. Like, man, this isn't just a cool visit where I take some pictures and see a game day. I'm actually gonna have to make a big decision about where I want to go to school, where I want to play football, who I want to play football for, how my major plays into all of that, how location plays into all of that. So, towards the end, it was like got a little bit more real, but still was fun all the way through.
For you, Matthew, what do you want to study? What is your hope for the future for you? Because obviously, football, no matter how long you play it, it comes a time where that era in everybody's life when it comes to playing football will end. So, what is the plan for a major? And do you have a job that you would like to do?
Yeah, so I really, ever since I was a kid, I've loved math. I've loved, building things, constructing things, working out problems. So I'm gonna go into some sort of engineering major. I'm thinking probably mechanical, but we'll see. And then the plan at Syracuse is since I'm gonna be there pretty much every summer anyways, to for spring summer practices, summer workouts, and get a lot more time in school, is to hopefully get my degree, graduate in 3 years, and see if I can spend the rest of my time at Syracuse getting my master's, and then going out into the workforce, and being an engineer.
And to know that already, like you said, you've always liked math. Did you know for a long time that engineering was a world you wanted to get into? Is this something that happened more recently? Have you always been interested in the opportunity to create something and to just put yourself in this world of, I mean, to some people, when it comes to engineering and the mathematics of it all and the mechanical elements like you were talking about, it can sound like it's impossible. Have you had a want and a knack for the impossible, or did this come up recently?
Yeah, sorry, that was my cat.
There we
But ever since, I've always, liked doing science, like technology and math. So I didn't always know exactly, like engineering's it for me, but I always knew, I wanted to do something where I could help the world, create things, not work, necessarily in a cubicle, right? Work, go out in the work field, use, the skills that I have, use math, use problem solving to come up with solutions. And engineering, the more research I did, I'm taking a class right now in engineering at CBA. It really helped me to see like, yeah, I want to do engineering.
Do you have something that is like a dream creation of yours for the future?
Honestly, I just, I want to make something that I can help people for sure. So I'm not sure exactly what that would be now, but I want to be able to solve any problems that the world may have by creating or, using the processes to create something that could help a lot of people in a lot of different areas, solve a problem in the world.
It's Matthew Hawn here with us of Christian Brothers Academy, Brothers Football 2025 college football recruit who has committed to Syracuse. So we're on the heels of that. What did Syracuse do right that got a yes out of you? You visited a lot of places, you've had a bunch of different offers. We've seen you develop and grow, and we have obviously seen the offers grow and expand, and some really reputable schools getting in touch with you. What did Syracuse do right, and why did you say yes?
So for sure, the whole switch for Syracuse in my mind came with the new coaching staff, Coach Fran Brown, Coach Dale Williams, Coach Jeff Nixon, all those guys. They were the culture they brought in with Syracuse. There's definitely a big turnaround. And I really liked, how intense they were, how focused they were, how, much they wanted to work into the developing aspect of, developing players. So it was really great to meet with them at junior day, kind of see what they're about. I've been in contact with them, all the time. I have almost every coach on the coaching staff in my contacts that I talk to and, reach out with all the time. And so they've recruited me really well. And also, the school itself, it's close to home. It's a good school. It has what I want to major in. And lastly, the kind of turning point where I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be was when I went to spring practice last Thursday, and just to see the intensity of it, how much different it was than the other schools I went to. It was a lot more intense, a lot more focused, and I really thought, like they have a winner's mindset. I think they're going to have a lot of success. They're building something big, and I want to be a part of that.
You said that things really changed with the staff change at Syracuse. I've been speaking about for over a decade my want and my hope that Syracuse would start recruiting locally for football. What is it about Fran Brown and about this staff that makes you feel appreciated as a local student athlete, appreciated enough to listen to Syracuse, appreciated enough to go to a spring practice, appreciated enough to commit? What is this staff doing that is different in a positive way when it comes to caring about the student athletes in the community?
So they're really upfront, they're really honest. They'll talk to you about, what they want to do, how you would fit into it, how I would fit into all of it. And they also, they do a good job of, recruiting locally. But besides me and Darien, they offered the CNS right tackle, cardio shepherd, and they're, reaching out to a lot of other guys. So they're, they know that there's talent in this area and they're not overlooking any guys, which I think is a big part of it. Because, even though New York isn't always known for having the best high school football, there's a lot of hidden gems, a lot of good players, especially in this area. And I really like how he's recruiting us, how he's personal with us, how he's honest with us, and all that kind of shaped together to be one of the main reasons I wanted to go to Syracuse.
And when did that conversation start? When did Syracuse really start to reach out to you specifically, recruit you specifically? Bring us through the timeline of how everything started and how it developed over time.
So Coach Fran Brown actually came to our state championship game, and me and Darren didn't really get to talk to him that much, but just to see him there, kind of started to put that in the back of our mind. And then I went on a junior day in mid-January, and talking to the new coaching staff, talking to the coaches, hearing the coaches talk about their culture, what they plan to bring to Syracuse, all that stuff. It really kind of flipped a switch in my mind about this is a great staff. They know what they want to do. They're doing it right, and I think I want to be part of it.
And so for you, like you said, seeing Fran Brown, knowing that he was at your state championship game, that just presence, how much did that mean to you? How much weight did that hold when Syracuse started recruiting you? Did you go back to that moment and say, before this coach even knew me, he was at my game? Did that hold weight all the way through?
Yeah, for sure. Because it showed that he wanted to recruit locally. He wanted to recruit New York. He wanted to recruit CBA, and it showed that he was, more invested in this area, and that he, was looking for talent from all areas, and that he was willing to give us a shot and see what we had.
So for you, like you mentioned, in 2025, not only yourself, but Darien Williams will be joining the Syracuse Orange from Christian Brothers Academy. You guys know what it's like to win together. You know what it's like to go through a season, go through film study, go through practice, go through school, go through obviously the games themselves, and to win a sectional title and a state title. I've talked with you and Darien about the reality that you could play together someday. When he committed to Syracuse, I said, okay, is it time to go out and get Matthew? And we kind of joked, but said, like, hey, he wanted you to do what you wanted to do. He wanted you to have your own journey. What can you say about Darien's approach? And once he committed, did you guys talk about it at all? Did you say, hey, this could be a real thing? Or did he say, hey, just go do what you want to do, and if we can, great. If we can't, great. How did that come about once Darien committed to Syracuse?
Yeah, so when he committed, it definitely became more real that there was a big shot we were going to play together. But like you said, he was really supportive. He wasn't like trying to pressure me or anything. He was like, it's your journey, your life, whatever's best for you. Go out and live it. And it just happens to be that I think Syracuse is the best fit for me. He thought Syracuse was the best fit for him above all our other offers. And I just really think, I'll be happy to play with him for another 5 to 6 years and, see him on the field and high five him after a touchdown and all that stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it.
You are a 6'6", almost 300-pound offensive tackle. I have heard for years that Central and Upstate New York doesn't have the big boys. And you're a big boy, Mr. Hawn. What can you say? I mean, there's some things that can't be taught, which is height, right? And so being at 6'6", they're looking at you to play tackle, could be left, could be right, could be combo, we shall see. But just what you could say about knowing that you have the opportunity to be on the offensive line. It's been a glaring issue for Syracuse in the not too distant past. Syracuse was worst in the country in sacks that they were giving up, in the amount of yards lost from sacks given up. So to know that you can be a part of this future, turn it in the right direction, bring me into being a 6'6" tackle, knowing that you have now a great opportunity in front of you to turn the tide at Syracuse.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to changing, that Syracuse has been known for not having great linemen. Me and Byron Washington, the other O-line may have talked a little bit. And we're excited about it. Coach Dale Williams, the line coach at Syracuse, is a great guy. I saw him coach. He coaches really well. And with the amount of talent we're bringing in, plus the coaching, I think we're gonna have a solid O line. Looking forward to playing on it. Looking forward to blocking for my quarterback, whoever that may be, and looking forward to helping us do the best that we can be, and hopefully win the ACC title.
You got one more go before all this happens. What can you say about one more run with your teammates, with Darien? You know that Darien and you are going to be together after this year, so that makes things unique. Maybe put some more excitement into it and gives another flair to it. But this one more season with Christian Brothers Academy, one more academic opportunity and one more athletic opportunity. What are you looking forward to the most coming off of a sectional championship, a state title, knowing that Christian Brothers Academy has been really carrying a torch for Central and Upstate New York and the state of New York? One more run with Darien before you get more with him at Syracuse. One more run with the rest of your brothers at CBA. What's on your mind for this last ride?
Yeah, so now that I've committed to Syracuse, now that that whole part of my process is mostly done, I'm focused on this year, as is Darren. We're always working to get better and improve, and we're looking forward to, not just winning the sectional, but we're looking forward to repeating winning another state championship. It's very, I think it's going to happen. We have 17 returning starters, whole lines returning, whole D lines returning, got most all our receivers returning. We have a, great upcoming quarterback in Brandon Smith. We have, a great group of defense. I'm really excited for this program this next year, and one last year with all my CBA brothers minus Darien. It's even funnier. It's even a little bit more like feels like the last round because some of my other guys, Dante and Marquand, could be going on to the ACC for different programs, right? So I could be playing them, much like I'll be playing Cy at BC.
Yeah.
So just the last year being on the same team and being together and not blocking, not fighting against each other for sure.
And for you, like you said, this reality that some of you are going to play together and some of you are going to play against each other potentially in the ACC. What is that like to think about? I mean, you're literally called the brothers. It's where I went to school. It's my alma mater. So to be brothers, to be family, and to know that you're going to have some family feuds out there in the ACC. Do you like it? Is it invigorating? Is it exciting? Do you kind of laugh and joke around with each other saying, hey, this is one more ride together before we try and take championships from each other? Just what that's like.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some trash talk for sure about what's going to happen when we play on opposing teams. But, I think the added, knowing each other, like if I have to block Marquand, and he has to go against me, knowing each other kind of got to motivate us a little bit more, kind of, make the game more exciting. And same thing playing against Cy, playing against Dante, just a little added rivalry. But we're looking forward to one last year together as brothers. And we're still, when he go, no matter where any of them go, we're still going to be like great friends. We're still going to hit each other up. We're still going to hang out when we can. So even though we're going to be on different teams, if maybe if that happens, if we're on different teams, we're still excited about the future. We're excited for each other, and all of our journeys that we're going to be going on.
I asked Darian about this, and I want to get your thoughts as well. To be a torchbearer for Central and Upstate New York, the fact that home is staying home, this taking care of your backyard, which I don't think has been taken care of. I mean, in the last decade or so, I feel like when it came to Syracuse football taking care of its backyard, if you went into the backyard, it hadn't been mowed in a long time. There's bugs everywhere. There wasn't a lot of maintenance to the backyard. Fran Brown and his staff coming in and getting out the wheelbarrow and getting out the lawnmower and really taking care of the backyard of Central and Upstate New York. What does that mean to you to be a part of it? The fact that Central and Upstate New York student athletes are being looked at by Syracuse again. There's conversations that are real. There's offers that are real and opportunities that are genuine. What does that mean to you to be one of the torchbearers with Darien to say, not only are we talented, but we've been here the whole time. And now that you're finally getting looked at by the hometown school, just what it means to you to represent and if you feel the weight of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of it going into it. Like sure, I'm playing for the hometown team. I'm playing for all the people I know that are fans, right? I know tons of people that are all Syracuse fans. But also, Darren texted me right after I committed. He's like, Matt, we're gonna do great things at Syracuse. We're staying home together. We're really gonna fight for this program. We're gonna make this program great again. And that's just kind of added motivation that I know lots of the fans personally. I know how they feel when we lose. I know how Syracuse feels when we're not performing our best. So I want to turn that around, and turn Syracuse back into a powerhouse.
And what should people know about Central and Upstate New York, about the quality of student athlete, not just at CBA, but in general? You play up against people all the time. You've played in states, you've won states, you've played in sectionals, you've gone through your regular season, you've challenged yourself as a team in non-conference and in the conference. What should people know about the quality of student athlete on the football field in central and upstate New York?
Yeah, so I think, in central New York and upstate New York, it's heavily under recruited. I think there's a lot of great players, a lot of hidden gems that if they were any other state would go a lot higher. I mean, look at SUNY Cortland and UAlbany, right? Recruit mostly local guys from New York, and UAlbany was in the championship, and Cortland won the national championship for D3 football. It just kind of goes to show how there's a lot of guys in New York who aren't as heavily recruited by outside programs that go to those, these places that do recruit locally, and they have a lot of success. So I think, especially playing against the guys I've played against, there's plenty of great athletes, great people out there who would, excel very highly in, more competitive situations.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you look at guys that even Albany looked at, like Jared Verse, who gave him an opportunity, and then Florida State wanted him, the country wanted him, he's getting recruited, and now here he is at Florida State, and now he's going to be in the NFL draft. You got Cole Burgess and JJ Lapp, wide receivers on the SUNY Cortland National Championship team, and you got those guys working out at Syracuse Pro Day in front of 20 plus NFL franchises out of the 32 franchises that are in the league. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said. There's also, other guys there from other New York based schools. So there is talent in upstate New York and in central New York on the teams. There's homegrown talent, and there's talent, at these universities and colleges. And I appreciate you bringing it up the way that you did. What is Syracuse getting with you, Matthew? What are your best attributes? What is it about your game that you think can be effective right away? And then with this one more season to go, what are the things that you're really trying to hone in on and work on to make yourself a better all around player?
Yeah, so what I think I bring to Syracuse, is a really hard worker. I'm out there pretty much every day, getting a lift in, doing field work, watching film, all that sort of things. And I also think, one of my strong suits is, I'm pretty fast for a lineman. I'm pretty mobile. I love, pulling. I love blocking down the field. I love going out on screens. Have pretty fast feet. So that's what I'm, excited to showcase at Syracuse. What I'm going to work on a lot this year for sure is just pure lower body strength. I think I can get a little stronger, get a little lower, move my feet a little faster on run blocking, against these bigger D tackles. And I think, once I really hone that in, I think I really could, be a great player for Syracuse.
Mental toughness, mental fortitude, mental health is all important in anything you do. As a tackle on the offensive line, you could be blocking the blind side of your quarterback. What keeps you strong mentally and what keeps you calm mentally to be in such a very, very important job on the field that is incredibly crucial to the movement of the offense?
Yeah, I just drown out all the noise and think about what I have to do in that play. Don't think about any other plays. Don't think about the past play, whether it's good or bad. Just, hone in on this one play, this next play. Focus on my technique, focus on what I've been taught, focus on my natural gifts, and just do the best that I can, to protect my brother and my quarterback. And I think all that, combined really, really helps me, to calm down and to make sure that I can do the best that I can do.
That coming here from Matthew Hawn. Matthew, I got to ask you this question. I've talked to you for a while, so I feel like I already know the answer, but I know fans are thinking about this. You've committed to Syracuse. We live in a world where people's words don't always mean a lot. So it's not on a dotted line yet. How committed are you? Is there any chance that you could change your mind? Have you closed recruitment down? I know Syracuse fans are like, okay, we're excited about getting the 6'6" local guy. We're excited to watch him play at CBA one more season and really get to know him. But the question comes, are you done recruiting? Is Syracuse the place? Is this 1,000% yes? Where are we at?
Yeah, I'm here to stay. Syracuse is the place, and I'm looking forward to spending as long as I can, as many years of eligibility as I can playing for the hometown team. No chance of decommitment.
And with that being said, we're going to get to know you a little bit better. We're going to play some rapid fire as we have before. Matthew Hawn, 2025 offensive lineman, coming to Syracuse at the tackle position on the offensive line, committing from Christian Brothers Academy, literally just a couple minutes down the road from where Syracuse trains at the Ensley Center. With that being said, we're going to have two questions apiece. Matt, you get to ask the first one, and then I'll follow. What do you have for me?
Sure. What made you really interested in reporting and all, your job and asking questions and all that sort of thing.
Well, I never had a problem making new friends. Never had a problem like walking into a room of strangers and walking out of the room with connections. So I love bringing people together. I love making people laugh. I love helping people to be seen more than anything. I try to just show without even having to say it that God loves you. So to me, why did I get into what I got into? I love sports. I love collecting cards. I have a photographic memory. So I started to just kind of pick up all of the stats when I was looking at cards, not even knowing it. I love talking about it. I love telling stories. I love making people laugh. And I just have this belief that through sports as your vehicle or whatever topic, you can share with people faith, love, empathy, understanding, joy, heartbreak, adversity, mental toughness. You can teach people things. You can help them to laugh. You can help them to grow. And I could do the same thing. So why did I get into it? Because I love God and I love seeing people smile. Why am I still in it? I love God and I love seeing people smile. And I want to make the world as small of a place as I can for all the right reasons. And I want people to be able to know that there's always a place they can go where they matter, where it's positive, where it's honest, where it's truthful, and where they know that they're appreciated.
Sure, it's great.
So thank you. My first question for you, Matthew, is if you and I were going to broadcast a show and it was going to be your show and I was on with you, what would we call the show and who's the first guest that you would want to have?
Hmm. I think we would call it a line talk, right? And it would be a football show, but just for the offensive and defensive line. Just a lot of underappreciated heroes. And I'd first on it. I'd love to have Jason Kelsey for
Jason
sure.
Kelsey. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So get the unsung heroes some love. Put Jason Kelsey on. Are we having him on with or without his shirt?
Yeah, I mean, however he's feeling that day, however many bowling ball shots he's had.
That's very true. That's very true. What's your last question for me?
Where do you see yourself, down the road in like 30, 40 years?
You know, I challenge myself every single day. I don't think I can ever have an end line. So, I mean, in 30 years, I would be 68. I I would like to say that I'm still telling stories. I would
Mhm.
like some of the other things that I love to develop and grow, my comedy, doing stand up, maybe, working on movies, creating stories. I'd like to be, maybe a movie or two in. I'd like to work on my music. So I would say in 30 years, I hope I'm doing all the things I love today, plus the other things that I also love. And I would like to hope that 30 years from now, 38 years from now, that I can look back to the first 38 where I did a lot of things that I was proud of. And in the next 38, that I did a bunch of things I had never done before, that I challenged myself, that I responded to adversity with grace and humility and strength and faith. I would like to think I've laughed through the pain. And I would like to hope that I am a better Christ follower and overall person than I am at this moment. I would like to think everything about me is hopefully more deeply rooted, more confident, kinder, and that the world 38 years from now still has not changed the man that I've always been.
That's great. Really, really honorable. Sure.
Thank you. My last question for you, Matthew, is I'm going to go. We went to all these deep ones. I'm going to go to food. You're a lineman.
Mm.
Lineman got to eat. So I
Mhm.
want breakfast, lunch, dinner for the rest of your life. So this is, you can eat one thing for breakfast, one thing for lunch, one thing for dinner. Now it can be a plethora of things on the plate, but it's one meal that's an everyday breakfast, everyday lunch, everyday dinner. Tell me what Matthew Hawn's 3 meals are for the rest of your life.
All right. For breakfast, I'd love to have boiled eggs every day. Boiled eggs, a fruit bowl, some hash browns. That'd be the lunch from or the breakfast for me.
Okay.
Lunch wise, love to have just a ham and cheese sandwich. I have that almost every day. It's my favorite, my go-to. I would have salad and I would have some Cheez-Its. That's my
Okay.
lunch.
Okay. I like it.
For dinner, if I had a choice, I would have a chicken sandwich every day. Chicken sandwich with fried potatoes and some coleslaw.
I feel like this was prepared already. So
Yeah.
like, it sounds good, man.
Oh yeah.
I've been so hungry all day today, and I'm like, what a perfect way to end the show to make me more hungry.
Yeah, for
But
sure. For
Matthew
sure.
Hawn, 2025 offensive lineman coming into Syracuse, committed to Syracuse, and no change. He is coming to the Syracuse Orange. He will be an offensive tackle on the team. Before then, him and his team at Christian Brothers Academy will be in a quest with head coach Casey Brown and the crew. Shout out to Brian Bruno, as well as Bruce Williams and everybody on the staff and everybody that helps out with CBA. They will be making a push toward another sectional title and another state title before we see Darien Williams and Matthew Hawn on the Syracuse Orange right down the road, wearing different colors, but still being teammates, which is so cool. As Matthew Hawn continues to tell his story, you can find it here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Matthew, thank you for giving me just this open door policy with you in your recruitment, in your time at CBA. You've always made time for me. You've been great. You've been so gracious with your energy, your time, and just being there. So I want to say thank you truly, because you don't have to do that. And it means the world to me what you're doing in our community on and off the field. So shout out to you. God bless to you and the family. And I look forward to next time.
Thanks, man. Always a pleasure to be on. Love being here.